Hi everyone, I'm going to show you all the Excel functions and how to save pictures for graphs that you are needing for project 1. So let's get started. So you had 3 different walking conditions. My walking condition for run 1 was normal, run 2 was tiptoe, and run 3 was stomp. So first I'm going to change the tabs down here and add 3 separate tabs. So I'm going to go normal, tiptoe, and stomp. Okay, now that we have done that, you are going to keep the time and the angle 1 for each run, and you're going to delete the angular acceleration and velocity for everything else. So like I said, keep the time, keep the angle 1, delete the angular acceleration, so hit delete. I already deleted my velocity for run 1, so delete for run 2. And delete. So now that we have done that, like I said, the 3 different walking conditions, I'm going to keep run 1 on this tab. I'm going to move my run 2, which was tiptoe, on the tiptoe tab. So I'm going to cut it, select it, then cut it, and paste it onto this page. Go back to my normal, select the run 3, cut it, and paste it onto my stomp. Now that you have done that, you can start the calculations. So first, you want to find the maximum of angle 1. So you're going to write maximum on this tab and on this tab. You are going to hit equals, type in max, so max, and this should pop up. So you're going to hit double click max, and it should show up like that. So you want to find the maximum of this column. So you're going to hit the top where my mouse is highlighting, so the B. So you're going to click on that, and it's going to show a B colon and B. And you're going to add another parentheses, and you're just going to hit enter. That's going to give you your maximum. Then you're going to do the same thing for minimum, except you're going to type in equals min instead of max. So you're going to double click, parentheses again shows up, click on the B, put another parentheses, and hit enter. So my minimum was 0. Then you're going to find your range of motion. To find your range of motion, you're going to subtract your max from your min. So we need to cell reference and not just do 1.1 minus 0. So you're going to hit equals, and you're going to click on the 1.1. So that's going to show up as E2. And you're going to hit minus, do not click enter yet, and click on the 0. So that's going to give you E3. And then you're going to hit enter. That's your range of motion. To find your range of motion in degrees, that's just your range of motion multiplied by 57.3. So again, we are going to cell reference. So you're going to do your ROM in degree. And you're going to do equals again. Click on the 1.1, that's going to cell reference. Do the little star button, which means multiply. And you're going to type in 57.3, and then you're going to hit enter. And that's going to give me 63.03. Now that you have done that, you can graph, because you need your graph to figure out the second half of your calculations. So you want to graph a good 30 seconds of your data. So I did from 20 to 50 seconds because that's where I found the best results. So I'm going to highlight from 20 all the way down to 50. Press it a little bit. And then I'm just going to scroll all the way up so my graph comes at the top. And I'm going to do insert, scatter, scatter with straight lines. And I'm going to get something that looks like this. So you can see that my data is all bunched up. So I'm going to readjust my axis. I'm going to format it. So I right-clicked on the number. I'll show you again. I right-clicked on the 40, and it gave me the option of format axis. So I'm going to click format axis, and it's going to give me my bounds. So my minimum, as it says, is 0. So that's 0, and it gives me a maximum of 60. And I want to do it from 20 to 50 because that's where my numbers are. So I'm going to do my minimum as 20 and my maximum as 50. And I'm going to hit enter. And as you can see, it completely just expanded my graph, and now I can read it better. So now I'm going to add axis titles. So I'm going to do axis titles. Click on the plus and then just hit the check mark. And my x-axis is obviously time, and my y-axis is knee angle. So this one I'm going to do time, and this one I'm going to do knee angle. And you can name your chart whatever you'd like. And now we are going to do the second half of the calculation. So your first one, you're going to do your step count. So to find that, it's going to be one side. Let's move this over so you guys can read it. To find that, you're just going to count the peaks in your chart. So mine had 27 peaks. Again, I counted the top of each peak. And to find step count, on both sides, I cell referenced again. So I did equals, and I clicked on the step count 1, so my 27, and that's again E7, and I just multiplied it by 2. So star 2, enter. And then to find the step count for 90 seconds, you're going to have to multiply your step count of both sides times 3. So 90 seconds. So you're going to do, again, equal, cell reference the step count both sides. So click on the 54. So that's E8. Multiply 3, enter. So that gave me 162. Then I did the pedometer count. So for the pedometer count, you should have recorded that when you were doing the actual experiment. So my pedometer count was 145 steps, and I just typed that in. And then you're going to do your difference of your step count and your pedometer. So for difference, I did equals, cell referenced my step count for 90 seconds, so 162. And then I did minus 145, and then I hit enter. So that gave me a difference of 17. And you do everything the same for tiptoe and for stump. So you find the max, min, range of motion, and range of motion in degrees, graph it, format the axis, count the peaks, and then you can continue doing this. And once you get all 3, it should look something like this. So my tiptoeing and my stomp. And then you're going to want to do your group range of motion. So I am going to add another tab and move that here. Group range of motion. And we had 3 different walking conditions. So normal, tiptoe, and stomp. And I'm going to type in my name and my partner's name. So it should look something like this. So you should have your normal and your partner's names. And so for yourself, you have to cell reference your your range of motions. So for me, I'm going to go on normal. So click on this tab and I'm going to hit equals, and I'm going to go back down to my normal tab and just click on 63.03, which is my range of motion, and hit enter on the same page, and it will cell reference back to this page. And you're going to do that again for tiptoe and stomp. So you should get something like this. All of them are cell reference. So normal equals, go back to your normal tab, click on the 63.03, and then hit enter on the same page. And again, stomp and tiptoe. For your partners, you can just ask them for the data. There's no way that you can cell reference them, so you can just manually type them in. And then you're going to graph your data. So you are going to highlight everything, and you are going to click on insert. You're going to click on these bar graphs up here, so column charts, and you're going to click on the first 2D column chart, and it's going to give you something like this, which is obviously not the same as this. So you're going to right click in the top right corner, or the top any corner, and you're going to click on change chart type, and it's going to give you this option or this option, and you're going to want this option because it gives you the conditions of walking, and it gives you who everyone is. So I'm blue, and then my partners were the other colors. And again, you're going to add the axis titles, name your chart, name your axes. Yeah. And then for group differences, again, I am going to add another tab, name that group differences. And I'm going to type in normal, stomp, and tiptoe, and my name, and everybody else's, your partner's names. So again, you're going to cell reference. So you're going to find your difference for normal. So you're going to click on equals, go back to your normal tab, and you're going to click on the 17 because that's your normal difference, and you're just going to hit enter. And it cell referenced it. And you're going to do the same thing for stomp and tiptoe. And it should look like this. So 17, 73, and 27 was my data. And again, I just entered my partner's data manually, just asked them for it. And I highlighted the data to graph. So I'm going to do insert, column chart, and 2D chart. And again, you're going to right click on it, change the chart type, and you're going to click on the second one. And you're going to hit OK, and it's going to change the chart. And you're going to add your chart title and axes and format your axes numbers, so your minimum and your maximum, depending on your group's data. And then you are going to, so I'm going to delete this because I already have this. So you're going to get your graphs like this for these three. And if you can notice, I don't have any grid lines on these ones. So make sure you take those off, and I'll show you how to do that quickly. So as you can see, I have grid lines on this one. So I'm just going to click at the top on the lines and hit delete on my computer. There's the delete button. And again, for these ones, you're going to highlight them and delete, and it's going to get rid of your grid axes, or your grids on your chart, sorry. For the column graph, I kept them because it's a bit easier to read where the bars are instead of, yeah. So I just kept those. I deleted the vertical ones, just kept the horizontal ones. And now that we have all our graphs, all our data, you are going to save your graphs as JPEGs. So you're you're going to open a Word document and you're going to click copy. So you're going to copy the chart, and I'm going to click on the right hand corner. So copy, and instead of just pasting it normally on this Word tab, you're going to right click on this page and you're going to click on the picture U, and that's going to copy it as a picture. So you can't move the part of the graph. So that's going to copy it like that. And then you're just going to right click on this picture and you're going to save as picture, and you can name it whatever you want. So I'm just going to name it Kara1. Save. And that's it. You can do that for the rest of them and just upload them in your box. I hope this helped you guys, and good luck.